Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome to Embodied Wealth, becoming a frequency match for your dream life. I am Aiylah Valkyrie.
I'm Takata Roth.
And we welcome you. Just tell us where you're from in the comments, who invited you. And we'd love to do a little water cheer to start our day off or our evening off from wherever you're joining. So grab your water and we're just going to bring it up into our heart space, do a little cheer together, and send your intentions and your gratitudes into your water. And then let's just take a drink together. Cheers. Tonight is all about becoming a frequency match for your dream life. So today we are going to be sharing some information for you. And I want to talk a little bit about sacred reciprocity first. So honoring these teachings, everything that we're sharing today is from lived experience and is for educational purposes only. Receive what resonates, let go of what doesn't. And as sacred reciprocity is all about honoring the teachings, honoring the lineages. So anything that you take away from this, just make sure you honor the source and credit us for the information that you gave. Or if you're going to share in the future, make sure you always credit the source. And this is just an honorable way to work with things that are intellectual property. Tonight's journey. This is embodied wealth, identity shifts, health, leverage, wealth vehicles, and an invitation for you. It's going to be only about 60 to 75 minutes together, and we're going to wrap up at the end and just kind of do a little takeaway, and we'll close. And if you'd like to just check in on a free discovery chat afterwards with the person who invited you or with us, if we're the ones who invited you, then you'll also receive an invitation to do that, to connect deeper and further. So who is this for? Type yes if this is you. Healers, artists, practitioners, freedompreneurs, new earth leaders. Who is this maybe not for? These are people who, prefer conventional conveniences, that are not willing to step out of the matrix, that are just staying in their own patterns. They are people who aren't involved or drawn to wellness. They're individuals committed to solely traditional income paths with no desire to explore alternatives. However, we are the trailblazers. We are those that are ready for their dream life. We are the ones that are the aligned collaborators and those that desire real vehicles to actually get out into the world and bring your ideas, your thoughts, your visions, your actions into this new earth reality. And so if any of those things that who this is for fits you, type in what most resonates or share with the person that called you to this call what really resonates with you and where you're at. So let's take a moment to drop into the body. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And what I'd like you to invite into is envisioning 12 months from now, what your life is going to be like 12 months from now. If you are working with the water and you've worked deeply with the water, if you're just starting to work with the water, I invite you to grab your water because water carries all memory. So take a moment to grab your water and hold it up to your heart if that feels good for you. And then just call into your heart what you're bringing into your life, what you're manifesting, what you're calling in. Take a moment to envision 1 year from now what your life is going to look like. I'm going to breathe that in. Exhale it out. Visualize the freedoms of health, wealth, time, location, inner freedom that you'll have in 1 year that may be more expanded than they are now. What does your time look like? How do you spend your time in 12 months? What does your health look like? What is your health journey? How is it projecting in the next 12 months? Breathe that in to your water body. Exhale it out. What about your inner freedom, your self-care practices, your physical, your mental, your emotional bodies that you're taking care of. Take a moment to feel into those practices, those things that you're doing for yourself, for your inner freedom. And what about your location freedom? Where are you living? What are you doing with your life? So everything can change so very quickly, and the things that you're calling in are already in your heart. So let's take a moment just to breathe that in. Exhale out. And staying in that 12-month projection, just take a moment and drink that into your water body. So sealing that in. A couple nice big drinks. And if you haven't ever been practicing working with water in that way of releasing that information that you've stored in your brain into the water, sharing that with your transmissions, and then drinking it in, or even pouring it back into rivers, lakes, streams, oceans. It's a really beautiful practice because water, as I mentioned, holds all memory of everything that ever was and everything that ever will be. And so when we work with the water in that way, we're also remembering our body, our water body. Type yes if you were able to figure out something that felt really resonant in that, and if it felt good for you to do that. So what is embodied wealth? It is safety to receive. It is mission assignment and alignment, overflow. It's stewardship, it's community. It's more than money. It's safe receiving. It's alignment with purpose. Overflow instead of burnout. Physical, financial, and metaphysical health, which are the three pillars that we're going to talk about here. Health is wealth. We cannot embody abundance while being depleted. Vitality affects creation, and most people are exhausted. So I'm going to ask if you want to drop in the comments here, who invests in themselves regularly? Just type a 1 in the chat. If you invest in yourself, if you have ever invested in yourself, or if you intend on investing in yourself. So true physical health, true financial health, and true metaphysical health. Energy, vitality, and clarity affect our capacity to create. And like we mentioned before, working with our water body, water is 99% water molecules. And it's a fact that most people are chronically dehydrated. So we have to live in abundance in order to have that abundance in our water body. Then we can create it in our outside world, but it must be first created within our inner environment. So a little bit about me, and then Takata will share a little bit about her. Who is Aiylah? Who am I? Well, I'm all about the freedom lifestyle. I'm a water priestess, a Reiki master, a yogini, a fire performer, a mentor, and a guide. And my mission is to empower women to embody their passion, their purpose, their potential, and their platform in the world through prosperity, and really embodying joy and abundance and all the time freedoms, the health freedoms, the location freedoms, the financial freedoms, and the inner freedoms that we're here to enjoy. So that's my purpose, and that's why I'm here.
And I am Takata, and I started off as DJ Sunray in the early 90s. I'm a body worker, Reiki master, a ceremony facilitator, and through all of my works as a massage therapist and a yoga teacher, I found so much working and trading time for money, right? So that was all kind of a, I love what I do. I love helping people grow and expand and heal their bodies and learn how to do that for themselves, and assisting on their journey. But trading time for money becomes, how would you say it?
Not sustainable?
Not sustainable.
You get burnt out, basically.
Yeah, it's a lot of physical labor.
How many of you have been in the service industry? Put a 2 in the chat, or just raise your hand, or drop an emoji.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So service industry, it's a beautiful thing to be of service, and being of service is always who we are as humans, but when we have to do it to receive money, it becomes transactional.
Absolutely.
And that's really what we're going to show you, is some ways to create other streams of income, other ways to have prosperity without having to be showing up every single day at a job, or showing up every single day and receiving clients, or whatever that looks like for you. So, if that's something that you're looking for, you're in the right place. Absolutely. And we'll show you some different ways that we've done this, and that, now we're living that freedom lifestyle. We're able to go visit our children, go visit our grandchildren, and all those things, and go on vacations. So a little bit about our story. We're going to share just a little bit about, we were twin flames, and
we came together through, well, essentially our yoga path. And we both owned yoga studios in Dallas, and we had a lot of mutuals that were friends or teachers, students that crisscrossed.
But we didn't know each other. We just knew of each other.
Yes. And we ended up meeting at a holistic fair, which...
Yeah, I was presenting. We had booths there. Both of our teachers and students were representing our booths, and we just began talking. And I asked her to DJ at this huge yoga festival that I held in Dallas for many, many years. It's the largest yoga festival in Texas for over 11 years. And I asked her to DJ.
Yeah, and being a DJ for so long, and also being a massage therapist and yoga teacher, it just was perfect fit.
Yeah, so we just started a relationship as friends, platonic, and it
turned into ceremony partners.
Yeah, we became ceremony partners and business partners, but we didn't know we were twin flames. We had no idea until January 2nd of 2021 at 1:44 in the morning, which is a whole story that we'll share later in a different call. And but when we had this happen, it was a reveal which caused many identity deaths and rebirths, and deaths and rebirths over the last 5 years. Actually, as we record this, Saturday this week is our 5-year hand fasting anniversary from when we had our ceremony and retreat and hand fasting in Hawaii. So we're coming up on our 5-year, but we have chosen authenticity, and we've chosen our mission over comfort. And so it's been a very interesting road, to say the least. I will tell you a little bit about kind of where we were, and maybe you can relate to some of this. So 3 to 5 years ago, we had our twin flame awakening, as we mentioned.
It was a surprise for both of us.
It was a surprise completely by the universe.
Did not see that coming.
No, it did not. And
we take what we are given when spirit guides you.
Yeah, and once you see something, you can't ever unsee it. Once things are revealed, you just you can't ever not know. And so it was revealed to us through the Akashic records that we'd had over 52,000 lifetimes together. And I was newly divorced in 2021. We lived together, and then we decided to go tiny and live the RV lifestyle. And that caused, for me personally, 10 moves in 4 years. You had 8 of those moves with me. Yes. And then we both had some major health crises. In the last 3 years, I have had 3 near-death experiences. I'd say 4 years now. And I was just praying. We were meditating. We were seeking community. We were working with healing and manifestations, praying for direction. And things were really up in the air. Everything that I had known had crumbled. And so it was then that we made some decisions.
The RV life allowed us to move more fluidly and really find where we were being guided and where our hearts were being called by spirit and our own path. And in that process, that ungrounding, if you will,
It's
the
the
deep journey.
the deep journey, and that we're the first in many generations to not live a householder life, which is very gypsy, very, very nomadic, even though we call it semi-nomadic because we've stayed in places for several months at a time. We weren't constantly traveling. And now we've landed and created a home base here in Austin, Texas, creating the healing collective called Mystic Hearts, where we're creating a small intentional community on some sacred land in some forested woods on a creek. And so this is our home base. In 2022, do you want to talk about this message that we received through the Akashic, through a channeled message?
Yes, so we received the message, which we already both knew and felt. But the confirmation that came through was we were here to build community online and in person, and to help awaken others on their sacred path, to create teachings and mentorships that would help them on their own journey of awakening, self-embodiment.
And that's really what we do.
Yes.
So we're going to share several different layers of our ecosystem, and there's different ways that we work with each of you, and there's different resonances, different frequencies to these different doors that we have, and they will share a little bit about what that looks like here, and then we'll also have some other trainings and classes to go into detail on some of those other things later. So today we're primarily going to talk about the frequency match. And manifestation is not forcing. As we mentioned, we are water. There is safety in the nervous system. And when we are embodying something that is a match, we can feel it. We can feel it in our nervous system. We're in a space of receiving. We're in a space of alignment. And this is how we become the version who can receive. This is how we match. And when we match something within frequency, then we draw it in like an antenna. It's the law of attraction. It's quantum physics. It's science. And this is everything in the universe is energy. Energy can not be destroyed. It can only be changing in form. And that was proven many, many, many moons ago by many, many scientists. And as we're talking about frequency match, we're talking about calling in our manifestations, being very, very clear about the life that we are here to live, and getting very, very clear on what that dream life looks like. Some of you may have come into this masterclass by invitation and received my dream life guidebook as well. So you might have been doing some deep work on that already within that. And if you like that, just comment dream life or message me dream, and I'll send you that so I can help you with that. It's a free offering. But one of the things that we want to do is we want to drop in really deeply to what are our own beliefs. What beliefs have been spoon-fed to us by society, by the media? What beliefs have been handed down to us by our parents, our grandparents, our ancestors? And what do we actually believe? And this is how we find out what our true mission is and what really aligns. And this is why we're here. We're aligning in frequency, and we are collaborating and partnering and creating strategic, aligned, and silent partnerships with many of the people that are in our field, so we can all elevate the planet. We can all up level. We can all create this beautiful heaven on earth that we're here to do. You want to speak to that at all?
I mean, when we align to or call in our match, what we desire, and we raise our frequency to match it, nothing can keep it apart.
It's
I
like
called you in.
Yeah.
I literally
We
spoke.
didn't know, like me as a person, she didn't know, but she called in all the aspects of me, which resonated with my being to the point that there was a quantum entanglement that happened that was so familiar and so orgasmic and so beautiful that once we remembered it, we couldn't deny that. But that can happen with anything, not just a person or a
Absolutely.
relationship. It can happen with a car. It can happen with a home. It can happen with a place you want to live. It can happen, with the things you're calling in your immediate environment.
Mhm.
And it can even happen with tiny things like a bottle of Gorilla Glue, for instance, and so that happened when we first started working with manifestation. we were walking, and we lived in this beautiful, huge home on this golf course. That this was before we went tiny, and we were taking a walk, and my Birkenstock pulled apart, and I was like, wow, I love these shoes. I just need some Gorilla Glue. And we just walked home and didn't think anything about it. And the next day we walked back to the park by the pond, and kid you not,
in the exact same spot that she had declared the desire for Gorilla Glue was a bottle of Gorilla Glue sitting on the sidewalk.
literally. And so I stuck it in my medicine bag. However, we have to be really specific about what we call in, because I didn't ask for a lid, and it spilled in my bag. And so I'm like, okay, next time I'm going to ask for a bottle of glue with a lid, And so these are the things that the universe is just a cosmic joke. There's just so many hilarious things that the universe does. And this is just one of so many examples that happen when you become a frequency match to your path. And then you get these little, what I call a little God wink,
Well, and the fact that we are so much water, and water resonates and vibrates and can match frequency when we put our intention into it. So therefore, when we are putting that intention into our being, it is the water within our being that is actually
our water body.
That's the tool.
Well, and when you get chill bumps or goosebumps, or I call them God bumps, I call them also truth bumps, because that is the waters in our body resonating with the truth. And so the body is like, yes, hear me. That's true. And as empaths, we feel it in our body. And the chills or the God bumps are one of the really most obvious ways when we receive a truth. We're like, whoo, I just had a wave of God bumps roll over my body. And that's the water body resonating with that information. Embodiment practices that changed everything. Let's talk a little bit about this. You want to share this slide?
The creative visualization and the tantric practices, the gratitude, the really getting a clear vision for your future pacing,
which is a practice that is an actual practice that we teach in the Dream Life Guidebook as well. But it's calling it in present moment, as if your future self is talking to your now self.
So we started when we really started to get focused on our manifestation and our embodiment. We started with the magic.
So I want to share with you this recommendation, this book called The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. It's a part of The Secret. Many of you may have watched The Secret. If you've watched The Secret, just type secret in the chat, because that movie is on Netflix. I think it probably still is. The book was very famous. This is one of the sister books in that series called The Magic.
Yes. So we started with that, and things started to just happen so rapidly. We set and we created prayer bundles to call in what we were desiring in our life.
We were assigned from some Native American elders to do 100 prayer bundles. This was in the midst of a health crisis that I was in. I had a month in and out of my body where I was in fever and chills, probably as high as 105. In the middle of summer in Texas, I was freezing. I wasn't keeping down any water. I was not able to eat for almost a whole month. And it was after a very acute infection and then taking a double antibiotic, which completely wiped out all of my flora in my body. And we had found Kangen water, and I was just starting to drink the water. And we went to go see some Lakota elders, and we were asking about where we were supposed to live. We were We had just moved into the RV. We weren't sure if we were supposed to stay in Fort Worth or if we were going to move. We had several different options on the table of where to move. Everything was spinning.
Yes. we were in the primordial goo of creation and hard reset. All children had left home. We were on our own.
Yes, and I had lost all of my income after my divorce and after my move. I discontinued taking students in my mentorship programs and my teacher trainings, and that was my primary income, in addition to my family income, which was my ex-husband's business or my husband's business, and trying to figure out where's money going to come from. Like, I didn't know how to just manifest money and manifest passive income at that time. Mind you, this is 3 to 5 years ago, and we were just stepping into calling in this future pacing, calling in these things, and the prayer bundles were so key, and this gratitude practice of 28 days of magic was so key. It literally transformed our whole entire life and our trajectory.
Mm-hmm. We knew about the water. We wanted to, we had many different times of where we got to drink the water for, a week, 2 weeks, and then we didn't have a machine, but we were like, yes, we feel so much better with this water. And then with the health crisis that was taking place, we really wanted to call this in. And on day 11 of doing the magic is when the doors opened and magic occurred, and the opportunity for us to invest into a machine
and ourselves
happened.
So,
but we were also gifted a machine temporarily,
a loaner
for just a little while, which really helped.
Which helped me through my health crisis, honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it also raised the frequency, because the purer the water that we're putting into our bodies, that are mostly water, the cleaner our own frequency and clarity is within. So it just was a drastic shift.
Yeah, and drinking living water versus dead water, it was, that is what my body needed. I could have easily checked out, and I knew I had a mission, and that's why I chose to stay. And I've had several opt-outs, and I've chosen to stay. Didn't necessarily want to stay, but here we are. We're doing it. And these practices have been 100% the life force, the lifeline of my life force energy. And so we do teach these in some of our teachings. If you're in our mentorships or in our teacher trainings or anything like that, or our embodiment practice trainings, our tantric trainings. And this is where we're going to go deeper into it. But we wanted to touch on those practices because that is the foundation, your daily method of operation. You're calling in what you're manifesting. You're working with the water. You're working with the elements, the fire, the air. We're working with the earth, the ether, the space. We're calling in our gratitudes. We're saying our gratitudes. We're doing the practices. And that's what this is fundamental for, is just going through the 28 days and really doing the practices and embodying them. And there's so many more practices that we do, yoga and meditation. I've taught over 10,000 hours of vinyasa yoga, but vinyasa yoga is no longer my practice. It's something that I love to teach others, but my practice is really yin yoga, meditation, swimming, those kind of things. So really having that clear picture of what our daily practice looks like, which is the foundation to bringing in the rest of your life. Sometimes these practices can be 5 minutes, sometimes they could be 2 to 3 hours, but these are the most important part of your day, because it is what is going to be pulling in everything else that you envision for your future. So the 6 embodied wealth codes. These are not things to achieve. These are identities to embody. And wealth is not only money, wealth is a way of being. And as I mentioned earlier, my health is my ultimate wealth. And I think any of you who have ever been through a health crisis can attune to that. If you have and have made it onto the other side of a health crisis, drop a little fire emoji or put a 3 in the comments. Because this is, once we're on the other side of that, we have a very different perspective of what wealth is. So we've created some affirmations here for you. You can take a screenshot of this, or if you're journaling, which we forgot to remind you to get your pen out, it might be a good time to get your pen and your paper. And so take a moment here to go over these and write them down or screenshot them. And these are the embodied wealth codes. So you want to start us off here?
Yes. Receive. I am safe to receive support, abundance, opportunities, and sacred reciprocity.
Yes, 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 yes.
Align. I choose relationships, work, and investments that honor my soul's mission. Super important. Make sure it is in alignment.
And that's a tricky one too, because it could feel like it's close, but if you have to really sit with it and drop in and say, is this really on point to where I'm headed in 12 months? Is this really on the trajectory? Is it a sidebar? And then the sidebar can take you 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 3 years, and you could get stuck in this rut over here, this hole that you never get back onto trajectory. So be very careful on the alignments that you do take in. And we are very careful on the partnerships and alignments that we do take into our field because of this reason. It has to be a match.
A full match.
A full match.
Nourish. I care for my body, energy, and nervous system as the sacred vessel for my dream life. Circulate. Money, love, wisdom, and resources are meant to flow through me, not stagnate around me. It has to flow through and it comes back.
This is the reciprocity, is that we're not just giving, but we're also allowing it to come in and receive. We have to stand in the flow of the waterfall and let it pour over us, and then we can catch it. We're going to teach you ways to catch it, because you can't just pour out and just drain out like an empty an open bathtub. We have to put the plug in.
And connect. Community, collaborations, and proximity expand what is possible. Those that you connect to, those that you put yourself in proximity with, are they inspiring? Are they motivating? Do you resonate deeply on a heart level? Do they bring joy, fulfillment?
Yes, it must be a yes, 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 100% fuck yes. By the way, I'm Irish blood. I do cuss. So, if that bothers you, I apologize in advance, but full body fuck yes is the only calibration that you're looking for. People used to say hell yes, but I don't use that word. So, we're going for a full body, 100%. Yes, 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 mind, body, spirit, everything feels like a yes. And then it's a go.
Expect. I anticipate miracles, overflow, and aligned opportunities as a natural part of my path.
I love that one.
Yes.
So just claiming these in and saying them every day, especially the ones that resonate with you. And you can rewrite them, to make them your own, but make sure they're positive, present tense, and there's no contractions in any of your affirmations.
Expect miracles.
So, like, for instance, on the circulate, you would say money, love, wisdom, and resources are meant to flow through me. The not stagnate around me is not part of your affirmation. That's just like a sidebar, like for us to teach you about that. But you wouldn't say that part, because when you say not, then your unconscious mind doesn't hear that. It doesn't hear any contractions or negative words. So the affirmations would be, I am safe to receive support, abundance, opportunities, and sacred reciprocity. I choose relationships, work, and investments that honor my soul's mission. I care for my body, energy, and nervous system as the sacred vessel for my dream life. Money, love, and wisdom and resources are meant to flow through me. Community, collaboration, and proximity expand what is possible. I anticipate miracles, overflow, and aligned opportunities as a natural part of my path. So it is, and so it is, and so it is. If that feels good for you, just drop an emoji, drop your favorite emoji in the comments here below. Or just, create some little affirmations there for yourself that feel really good. So community is currency. One of the greatest shifts in our lives wasn't another certification. It wasn't another course or another healing modality. It was actually changing the waters that we swam in. So fish don't actually notice the water that they're swimming in until they leave it. So ask yourself, who are you surrounded by? What conversations are normal in your circles? Do people celebrate your expansion or do they shrink from it? Community is currency because we are all influenced by the energetic, emotional, and practical currents. So we call our tribe the Water Wealth Tribe. And we also have a community called Temple Sacred Heart. We have the Lighthouse Metaphysical Co-op and our Inner Goddess Retreats. And these are all intentionally designed spaces where people can be witnessed, supported, and expanding together. Proximity is power. As we had mentioned, your environment reshapes your reality. You might even ask here, just for confirmation, just asking yourself, putting on a legal pad, a plus, a neutral, just a 0, and a minus, and draw 3 columns. And I'm going to give this to you as an assignment. This is super spontaneous. You can do it later. But what I'm going to ask you to do is not use your head, use your heart and your body as a compass. And I'm going to ask you to write the plus, the 0, and the minus, draw a line, and then put the 5 people that you're around the most. Not the 5 people that you want to be around the most, but the 5 people that you actually are around the most. Okay, because that's a very different story. And so it might be your boss at work. It might be your kids. It might be if you go to the convenience store and get a coffee every day, it might be the freaking 7-Eleven cashier. Who do you see on the daily? Or who do you talk to on the daily? Who are you surrounded by on the daily? If you have mentors and coaches that you talk to regularly, or if you don't. And so type out those 5 people that you're in proximity to the most. It doesn't mean the 5 people that are in your immediate family, because you might not talk to them very often. This is being fully honest. And then you're going to just simply put a check in the plus, a check in the neutral, or a check in the minus, and just boom, 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 boom. And you can do this for a bigger group of people. You can expand it out to the next 10, and if you really want to be completely honest and take a very honest inventory of your people, you're just going to have to do it off the cuff and just mark a column. No one's going to see it. You're not hurting anybody's feelings. You've got to be completely honest with yourself. Do they drain me? Yeah, they fucking drain me. Every time I'm around them, I have to go take a nap, or I have to feel like I have to go just eat and reset, because I can't even focus after I've been around this person, or this person really lifts me up. Every time that I'm on the phone with them, or I'm on a Zoom with them, or I'm in a chat with them, I feel really good afterwards, or I could take it or leave it. We're about the same after we depart ways. So this is how you can really look at your proximity. And your environment shapes your reality. Very, very 100% true. All right, so next one, the 4 income types.
So we've got 4 income types, right? We've got earned income, leveraged income, residual income, and passive income. This chart shows the cash flow quadrant. We've got the
Robert Kiyosaki. He's the author of this book. This has been used in so many lectures, but we want to credit the source, as we mentioned in Sacred Reciprocity. Absolutely. We always credit the source. This is where this chart comes from.
So you have the earned income. You are
over here. Can you see my cursor? The little employee
time.
Yeah, you can see my cursor.
Money. There's no leverage.
You just show up, get a paycheck, If the boss decides he doesn't need an employee anymore, you don't have a job. You know,
Yes.
it's just time for money.
Yes. We've got,
The self-employment here, the S.
yes,
You can see my cursor.
you own a job. Time equals money.
But your clients own you.
Yes.
Those of you that have been self-employed, holla, you know, like, I'm so free. I've got my own business, and you're plugging away 80 plus hours a week, and you're taking clients on all kinds of times just because you want to get clients, and you're going to just make a concession to do it on a Sunday and do it on a time when you told your kids you'd do something with them, and because your clients own you. And that's not true freedom. I've been self-employed since 1996. However, I have not been truly free until the last several years. Big difference. Big difference.
I mean, it is better to be
It is better.
self-employed.
You still have some more control over, you know, your time and energy, but also.
But a session costs this much. There's not much more that you can do. You could raise your prices a little bit, but if you go beyond, you know, there's just not a whole lot that you can do more.
Yeah, like, you know, being a massage therapist, you know, you can only take so many clients in a day. And then if you want to go to the beach for a week, then you have a whole week that you have of expenses, and you have a whole week of lost income.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's not leverageable. So how can you create leverage coming from a place of either being employed or being self-employed? Let's move over to the other side of the line.
So for a business owner, you own a system and people work for you. Well, people equals money. That's some leverage. You've got people,
which is a working model
doing
for
the job.
us. We have a metaphysical shop. We have a team of practitioners that are amazing.
Absolutely.
You know, whenever they make money, our shop makes money. Whenever our shop makes money, we can take a paycheck. Whenever our shop doesn't make money, we don't get a paycheck, you know. You know, so it is leverageable somewhat because it is somewhat passive. We don't have to be there all the time, but the amount of time that we do spend managing it is exorbitant. It is so much time and energy that we're looking to leverage it even further. And, you know, so we'll teach you some ways to do that. But that's an example there. Do you have another example of a business owner that might be relatable to our people here?
I mean, there's also, while there's more freedom, there's also, you know, somebody gets sick, nobody can sub. Who's going to take care of the, you have to step into it yourself. You know, it's improved.
It's definitely improved. You're on the other side of the quadrant, so you have a little bit more leeway with your time and energy, and your money might be coming in. You might be able to take a weekend away, you know, and still actually have some cha-ching coming into your bank, you know, but ultimately you're responsible for everything, which is part of being a business owner. It's not a bad thing, but it's not completely leverageable. It's not scalable unless you duplicate a franchise or things like that, or sell some of your intellectual property. And, you know, there's lots of ways to do that, but it's also, it's a whole thing. It's a lot. And you're also doing it yourself. You're carving the trail, you're watering the trail, you're doing everything to make that path happen. It's not carved out for you. And then the bottom here,
we've got the investor. This is where the money works.
This is where the money works.
You.
It's working for you.
This is passive income. This is money that's happening while you sleep. This is money that's happening while you're on vacation.
It's coming in.
This is just flowing money.
The streams are open.
Yes.
The ponds are and lakes are catching it. It is a system, and it is leverageable, and it is scalable, and it is the ability to pass it forward and build legacy for your children, your grandchildren, your community.
Absolutely.
And that's where we're headed with our shop. with the business owner.
Yes.
Here, we want to get to a legacy state where we can pay it forward to the community. We can step away and say, okay, we're no longer the executive directors of the board. We're going to pass this on, and we want to get it to where it's running itself. But when we become an investor, or what were you saying on that?
Oh, I'm just really, we use 3 of these models, but the one that we don't use is having a job as an employee.
Yes, no more JOB. I will not. I would rather die than step back into the matrix. Not doing it. Not fucking doing it. I worked too hard to get to where I am, to go backwards. And so we are helping you also escape those old paradigms of income that are no longer sustainable. You know, if you want to actually have a life, and, you know, if you want to have a life, absolutely. Type in the chat where you want to go next year. Just one place that you want to go. Just drop in the chat a place that came to you. Or maybe you want to just do a staycation and have all your family over for Thanksgiving or Christmas or holidays or birthdays or whatever. You know, so just that is what we're heading toward. And so we have a mantra for this one too. I want to share.
Okay, go.
Well, go ahead and say what you're saying.
Well, I was going to say, like, the passive income, the investor aspect, actually gives the self-employed version of ourselves and our work less pressure. That's where we provide our private services, and we provide those services because we want to work
from
with
the heart, not from
people.
like transaction. You
Yeah,
know,
we don't do that because we have to pay bills.
you're like,
or-
oh God, I need another client. My phone bill is due.
Yeah,
I
been there.
see.
Done
It's
that.
okay. We're not mad at y'all. We have totally been there.
Done it.
Totally been there.
Oh,
And it
let me
feels
book 3
gross,
more
right?
sessions.
You're like, oh my God, I don't want to do sessions just because I have to pay my phone bill. Ew, I want to do sessions because I want to help people.
Absolutely.
You know, and it comes from such a different energy. Such a different energy. Everything is frequency, and people know when you need something from them. You know, you're like, oh God, I got that. I went through this online thing, and I went through here and here and here. They are about to tell me something.
Yeah.
Oh God, you know, get the eye roll. That's not how we operate, you know, and, you know, everybody knows when someone's trying to be sold or trying to, you know, transact something so they can get something, you know, that is not sacred reciprocity. And so anything we do is always, anything and everything is always in sacred reciprocity, or we do our 100% best to make that, you know, feel that way for everybody involved. So when we are looking to leverage and investing in something means that we're going to be placing a chunk of energy here. So for the future, it will sprinkle out fairy dust evermore, you know? And so, you want to do the big money mantra? That's the one. Big money.
Okay.
So it's right. I make big money.
I make big money online.
Yeah, we changed it to big money. So the mantra was, I make
big
money online, I make money while I sleep. However, then again, you have to be very careful of what you're calling in. I started getting 1 penny transactions into my Square account. I'm like, I don't even have anything in my freaking store for a penny. What are people purchasing for a penny? I'm not kidding you. What, 10, 15, 20 a day?
Yeah.
And these like random 1 cent transactions of random strangers somehow coming through my Square. And I was like, okay.
1 cent.
1 cent, 1 cent. And it was for like some weird like online course that was like a freebie or like a, I don't even know.
Made $1.
I don't even know. But 100 people, I made $1. So I'm like, okay, the universe is hearing me, but I'm not being clear about what I'm asking. And so we changed the mantra, and this is the mantra we're going to teach you. Ready? 3, 2. I make big money online. I make big money while I sleep. I make big money online. I make big money while I sleep. I make big money online. I make big money while I sleep. So big money is different than a penny in your bank account. However, I will never pass a penny on the ground for that reason. And a lot of you have heard of pennies from heaven. This is how our ancestors communicate with us. Like, hey, I'm here. You know, penny just appears out of nowhere. And so I will never pass up a penny because that is the universe saying, hey, I'm giving you something. Are you going to receive it? Or are you going to roll your eyes and say, oh, it's just a freaking nickel on the ground? No, This is universe giving us money. And when we can be responsible for and humble for a penny, then we could be responsible and humble for $1 million. So let's move on here. So this is what we've done with the last year to create time freedom. We are building systems with passive income streams of money. And I've built over 6 websites. I have funnels, automations, emails, DMs, systems, and this is what's creating freedom. Systems for scaling. How many of you have seen people online with this like offer, and then it has this little clickable button, and then it has some DMs coming through it, and then it takes them to a page that's really cool, and then it takes you to a thing like this masterclass. Maybe that's how you came in, and you're like, ooh, I want something like that. That's what this is. That's who this is for. It might not be for everybody, but for those of you that want to free up your time and energy and get out of the DMs and just not have to be like constantly messaging people. And honestly, the reason I did this is because I started feeling really gross being on social media, constantly putting a CTA, if you don't know what that is, it's a call to action in your post. And like, only reason you're posting is for a call to action. Feels transactional. It feels gross in the nervous system.
To the same loop.
Exactly. And nobody wants to
to
be on the DMs all the time, like talking to people, trying to get them into your offer. Gross. Like, we want to be connecting with people on a true, authentic reason and way. And yeah, like if this aligns, freaking amazing. I will share this software with you because I have put a lot of time and energy building out this software with our community. And this has created so much time freedom for me. I've got all my calendars on there. I don't have to go back and forth when people want to book. I know which particular calendar they're booking on, so I know what they're booking for. We have, there are different free offers on there, so you can download those things. It's an amazing thing, and it's so much fun. It really is very creative once you're on the back end side. I do have a VA, which I attribute to so much of the back end work. She's amazing. She works out of the Philippines and she works online with me. So she's helped me so much. And then Takata has been working on creating time freedom by building an app for our store
in the shop.
And so, these are things that we teach. We do not coach you on how to do that. We have a team that does that. We provide the software and the funnels. You can use it for whatever you want. If you have an existing business, if you're building a business, if you have a free offer, if you have courses, there's so many ways you can use it. So passive scaling, building the life that you dream. You want to talk about this one?
Passive scaling, travel more travel all the time.
All the time. We love to travel.
Spend time with our family. We have grandbabies and children and
our pets.
Yes. Working less, living intentionally.
I put work in quotes, right? Work less.
Yeah. Well, when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work.
Isn't there a quote that if you love what you do, you'll never work another day in your life?
Yeah.
But there's also a time that can actually get out of hand. You have to live your life too. You can't just be constantly working.
Right.
So live intentionally. So our question to you, what freedom matters to you the most? Time, location, health, financial, or inner freedom? What right now is the highest priority? Drop it in the chat. Or if you're catching the replay, you can message the person who invited you, because that's a really important thing for us to know if we're going to work with you and help coach you and guide you into something that's going to be passive and be able to move you into a place where you're going to be able to have that kind of leverage in your life. You have to know your priorities. You have to really sit with that and okay, this is what's really important to me right now. And it's going to be different for everybody. It's different for all of our partners. So move forward here. Health is wealth. Communities, investing in our own self. This is part of all people in our community here that have invested in one of the streams of income that we work with as a high ticket affiliate marketing It's a beautiful offer. It's something that we utilize every single day. And so health really is wealth. And, when we're investing in our own self, we're creating self-care and stewardship, and it creates overflow. It's investing in wellness. And this is what we do on the daily. Maybe this one?
The missing piece. That was, we healed, we meditated, we visualized, yet still felt depleted. So water changed this for us. It was the water.
Yes, this became an integral part of our embodiment practice. And not just for drinking, but we offer water blessing ceremonies. We do these for free for our communities. We offer them at festivals and gatherings. And through our Temple Sacred Heart Church, we have combined blessed living water from sacred sites from all over the world. And we bring them together into a vessel of water. And we all pray and meditate for the intentions of ourself and our world. And, elevating our consciousness, elevating humanity. And then we also give out vials of these waters for people to take back to rivers and lakes and streams and oceans, and give them to trees and feed their plants with them, and make more water with solar water and lunar water. And working with the blue bottle frequency from Blue Bottle Love and the Italian blue cobalt. And there's so many things that we work with the water now. It's so much fun. If y'all are friends with me on Instagram, I share a lot of these things that we do. And it's just I was like, there's always been a thing that connects everything. What could that possibly be? The thing that has all information, and the most obvious thing right in front of our face this whole time has been water. It's been water the whole time, the missing piece. So, the water body.
We are 75% water, but we are 99% by molecular volume.
So look at the brain, it's 80%, the blood is 90%, the muscles are 75%, the heart is 77% or 73, the lungs are 83, the kidney is 82. So we are water, and hydration matters. The body is sacred technology.
Absolutely.
So why does water matter? Have any of you heard of the blue zones? Drop a water droplet in the comments if you've heard of the blue zones. Yes, and so these are a picture of the blue zones around the world. I'm going to talk about this a little bit. Just the mission.
The blue zones, inspiration, stewardship, conscious consumption, reducing waste, caring for Pachamama. These
are the areas of the world that are considered blue zones.
Yeah, so this was discovered that the miracle water at all these locations has one thing in common, and that is an abundance of active hydrogen, which today is known as alkaline water.
We like to call it living water or molecular hydrogen water, because alkaline water has gotten misconstrued. Yes. You can literally measure alkaline on a pH strip by dumping some baking soda in dead water.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's be clear.
You go to the store and you're like, oh, look, it's alkaline water.
Yeah, and it's literally Dasani with baking soda added to it. That's been traveling in a hot truck for months.
Yeah,
never even near a source of living water.
It's
a very
fake version that they want to be.
Yeah, technically on the bottle it can say alkaline because it measures 9.5.
Yeah, but they have no hydrogen in it.
Right.
It's just
and even the hydrogen tabs, people use hydrogen tabs, but you have to drink up to 12 of those a day. You have to constantly mix them and make them. You have to drink it within an hour. It's actually not sustainable. It's actually pretty expensive too. But if you could drink water from these blue zone sources, you wouldn't need any of that stuff anyway. but the problem is we really don't have access to that anymore on our planet. And our mission is to remove all the microplastics from the oceans and from the waters, and to restore the living water back to its original condition, which is the mission of the Blessed Living Water Project, which that's a huge ass mission, y'all. And to have that laid on my heart, what do you do with that? Like, remove all the microplastics from the ocean? Okay, that's a lot. If you've ever swam in the ocean as of recent, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, to say the least. I was swimming in Bali, and there's just tubes of toothpaste, flowing around, plastic. The reef is so beautiful, and it has all this trash. All I could do instead of enjoy the reef is just collect trash in my bra. It is horrible what we've done to this planet, but it's reversible. And one of the quickest ways we can do that is through prayer. We can pray over the water. And the studies of Dr. Emoto in the 50s prove that by praying and saying positive intentions over a body of water shifts the crystalline structure on the molecular level when frozen. You can see it return to its crystalline structure. And so by taking these blue zone waters and bringing them into a vessel and then distributing them back out from these sacred sites that have been prayed over and meditated over. We have water from the Ganges. We have water from the Amazon River. We have water from Hanuman's well. Our teacher is bringing back water from Glastonbury. I brought crystals that were charged in the Nile. We have crystals that were charged in Austria that were added to these vessels of water. There's so many more. From the 0 point latitude of the North Pole, from under a freshwater glacier. And so as all of these codes are coming back together, we distribute them back out to recalibrate and bring everything back to its 0 point and totally reset all the waters on this planet. And so it may seem like a huge, lofty goal, but it is doable. And I really believe it is doable within our lifetime. I truly do. So, caring for Pachamama is our heart.
We start with ourselves, right?
Yeah, we can only start with ourselves. So this is the technology that we choose.
Okay. So we chose to go with this Japanese technology. It's 40 plus years. We use it daily. It's got 5 wellness products, also, and optional partnerships. The device that we're using is the Kangen K8.
So it's a Japanese medical device, and you can see here there's 5 different ways to work with this technology. There's 5 different products. There's actually a 6th product in here now that is in the product lineup, and these are all high ticket offers. So if you've ever worked with low ticket multi-level marketing, you know that you make a couple dollars per sale, up to maybe $100 per sale, and it takes lots of time and effort and lots of DMs to friends and family to sell those kind of things. This is not something that we are care to sell to the multitudes, to the masses. This is something that we share with the people that we love, which is why you were invited here, because this is something that we use every single day, multiple times every single day. And the first one here, if you see over here, this is an entire health system with 5 key products that enhance health and protect the environment. 40 plus years in business. It's actually now 52 years in business from Japan. It's used in our home every day. It supports our wellness practices, and it's an optional pathway for partnership too. It comes with a free business model. So you can see the different products here. The K8 is over here pictured on the left. It's not even any bigger than a Keurig coffee machine. It just sits right there on your counter. And this is what we're talking about,
This
the
is where we get
living
the
water. So why we partner with Enagic, there's over 68 uses. It creates a non-toxic home environment. We've replaced every single cleaning product with different types of water. We have a whole education on water, a whole, what we call a funnel, which means it's a series of videos that you go through on water. And if you want to learn about this technology, just comment water education, or just send me a DM, water education, because this is so fascinating and it's super cool. And these videos are all pretty short. There's like a series of 4 of them that we put together on its own website, and it's an aligned mission. It is a product that is premium. It's a leveraged business model. It has a global community, and it has an inheritance model built in that is an opportunity for us to pass it to our children. So I'm going to skip through the next slide here and talk about the next product in the product lineup. And this is the Anespa. So this is what it looks like. It sits either in your bathtub or in your shower. It converts, it has a pump, a squirty tube on the bottom, or it can go through the shower faucet. What is it called? The shower
Head.
Sprayer, shower head sprayer. And it is basically what I call a Japanese mineral spa in my shower. It has a little core unit that is actually filled with minerals that are premium, and you can tell. Can you read that? It's pretty tiny. You want to read the facts off the slide there real quick?
So it transforms tap water into mineral-infused spa water using a combination of ceramic stones and minerals from Japanese hot springs. It removes chlorine and harmful contaminants, leaving the skin moisturized and rejuvenated.
It's so
instead
good for your
of
hair.
getting all this chlorine, because the skin is one of the most major organs in the body, and
It's the largest.
Absolutely. And then anything that you put on your skin, you're actually absorbing. So if you're showering in chlorinated water, you are absorbing the chlorine
And the
through the
fluoride.
skin. So
all the chemicals.
all of that is seeping in, whether you're drinking it or not, you're still getting it if you're showering in it.
Yeah. And this is, especially with babies and children, their skin is so porous and they're so juicy, you know, they're just all water, but they're little water babies. And so if you have any babies or grandbabies in your life, oh my gosh, just to let them bathe in chlorine-free water that is safe and it's rejuvenated with all these minerals. It's a self-love practice. It's really an in-spa home relaxation and recovery ritual. And absolutely love it. We have the most bougie RV, you know, we have over $10,000 worth of upgrades just to our water systems in our RV, you know, which seems like, oh, wow, you're not living real tiny. No, we're not living tiny. We are semi-nomadic, but nobody says we're living small, you know, so these are things that we've invested in ourselves, and we absolutely would not go back on it at all. Next one is the Yukon turmeric. So how many of you have heard of the power of turmeric? Type a 4 in the chat. So turmeric is ancient wisdom. It combines daily wellness support, small habits that matter, which are part of our routine. So you can see the box of Yukon right here, and it is encapsulated in beeswax, and it is actually liquid turmeric, so it makes it all the way into your system. It's a very powerful turmeric. It's one of the most potent turmerics on the planet. It's actually grown in Kangen water. And the benefit of this too is not only that you're benefiting and getting the anti-inflammatory properties and all the benefits of turmeric, but it also is grown in Okinawa, and it offers a whole entire village income because it supports the sustainable farmers with paying them for their wages. So it's also a philanthropy, which I absolutely love about Enagic. It's the most philanthropic company I've ever been exposed to. And I've worked for several multi-level marketing companies, which are very high up there on philanthropy, but Enagic is like miles ahead of the things that they do for our planet and for us. If we choose to partner with them with a global ID, they do so much for us. So the Yukon has the turmeric. It also has a tea. which are tea bags of the turmeric, which you can drink every morning as a detox. Drinking turmeric tea in the morning is a really beautiful way to clear your energy and to help in intermittent fasting. And then there's also an Ukon soap, which has the turmeric, and it's mixed with honey and tallow from enagic supported grass-fed beef. And so this is a really beautiful product. Love it, love it, love it. And it's also another avenue of income, a whole other stream of income. Real quick on the Ukon too, everything's been backed by wellness leaders, but on the Ukon, there's also a new line of skincare called Kangen Beauty, and it's made with Ukon as well. And so I'm really excited about that. Can't wait to try that. And I'm going to order it because it just came out at our 52nd global convention in Japan this week as we record that. It just came out, and so that's another stream of income for us. And then we also have the Kangen beef as a stream of income. We have the M-Guard. The M-Guard is a anti-frequency technology. And then we have the Kangen air, which is an ionization for the air. So there's all kinds of really beautiful ways that we can share health and wellness. Are you going to talk about the wellness leaders here?
These are just a few of the wellness leaders that back Enagic, and then there's some just for an example, and then here's some well-known athletes that also utilize these products that, just so you know, a lot of people do know about it.
But it's all word of mouth.
But it's all word of mouth, and not everyone knows a lot.
If you know, you know.
You know. But the water.
So yeah, for athletes, this is amazing.
Absolutely.
For ionized water. It's called actually ERW. So if you go onto Google, go to Google Scholar, or go to pubmed.com, and look up ERW, and you're going to see this. For every condition out there, there's actually clinical research for drinking ERW. And so just a little bit on that. There's a lot more in that if you want to learn about the water education. And then if you want to learn more about the water pathway as a partnership, we have a whole nother education about the water partnership and the income streams and how, like, the numbers, if you're a numbers person or not a numbers person, whether you're a right brainer or a left brainer, we can honor you. And these videos explain the path to actually bringing in abundance through these vehicles. So this is our path. This is a little bit about our water path in our ecosystem with the Water Wealth Tribe. I'm going to share a little bit and then I can expound.
So we have, of course, the Enagic with the high ticket affiliates, aligned, silent, and strategic partnerships. Then we have the Water OS, which, and then
here, I'll read a little bit. It's just here.
That's got well, that's the water school.
Oh, okay.
The water school has the master classes and the water education, so you can learn a lot about those. We do water events. We'll do markets and festivals. We do water blessings and ceremonies. Those are just some of the things that we love to share with our community. But the Water OS software, that is what we use. That is the back end.
It's our CRM.
That allows us to set up all the things that make it so
all the automations,
user-friendly for ourselves, which also gives us more time. Because
absolutely anything that we've built is
juggling
duplicatable.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
You know, and that's okay when you have support, and the Water OS provides a huge level of support for doing everything that we do with the funnels and the bookings and the automations and the accessibility for everyone. And then our tiny shop is kind of a water store for us, and we have.
It's really more of a mission outreach for our Temple Sacred Heart Church. But this is a place where people can pop in and learn about the water. They come into our co-op, and it's an in-house place where they can drink the water. They can learn about the blue bottle frequency. They can try the different pHs of the water and learn about all the different uses of the water. We sell the bottles filled with the water, so people can come home with the 2.5 for sanitizing, and the hypochloric acid, which, you know, can replace those toxic alcohol-based hand sanitizers in your purse. You know, there's the all the different waters that we have, and we educate people on them. And we do water ceremonies and call in intentions and gratitudes with the water that is there, and drink water together. And it's just an open door. So these are just different doorways that people can come through in the water path in part of our Water Wealth Tribe ecosystem. So if any of those doorways feel in alignment with you, then just let us know, you know, what you want to learn more about. And just, you can either just send me a DM or DM the person that invited you to learn a little bit more. Each of these has a way for you to become an affiliate, so you can also utilize these things as an income stream for yourself. They're already created for you. The path is already there. And so there's different streams of income and ways for you to like bring that into your own streams of income system in your own ecosystem. And we can work with you on a call to, after you invest in yourself, we'll work with you on a strategy and working with you in that way as a strategic partner. And then we also have silent partnerships. If one of these calls to you and you're like, well, I just want to refer people to you, then we have that as well. So, ecosystem. You want to talk about this?
Proximity is power. Your environment shapes your reality. So we have the Water Wealth Tribe ecosystem, and we have the Water Path. We've got the Egyptian Mystery School Mentorship Path, the Inner Goddess Retreats Path, and the Temple Sacred Hearts Path.
Yeah, the Temple Sacred Heart, I'll just drop into that just a little bit. It's just not not as bold on the slide, because this is a subcategory of the things that we actually have coming up for 2026, which under our temple, we operate the Egyptian Mystery School. We'll be opening enrollment for that, for the Priest and Priestess Path this fall. We do an enrollment twice a year for that. We have the Shamanic Practitioner Facilitator Training. We also have a Drum Journey course and certification, the Inner Spiral to the Temple Sacred Heart. We have a Combo Facilitator Training. And so these are different ways to come into the temple, and these courses actually are all, you know, available either online or in person or a combination of both. And some of them have deep mentorship containers where you have, or are in proximity to us, where you have access to us either on group chats or even private sessions. And then some of them are more like recorded trainings where you're going to learn, and then you can deep dive, and you'll get into a group chat that's part of that course as well. So you can meet the others that are going through it at the same time with you. So that's a little bit about how our temple operates. And then we also have Inner Goddess retreats that we have here in Texas, in Austin, every spring. And then we have Inner Goddess retreats at different sacred sites around the world. We have Bali, Hawaii, Egypt, Costa Rica, as well as Central America. And so there might be other aligned locations that come in the future, but those are the ones that are on the radar for having a home base in each of those countries and spaces. So we have a recurring place that we hold retreats there. And so those, if you're in our retreat ecosystem, you can comment VIP, and I'll send you the VIP form for that, so you'll get notified and be able to be the first on those early access lists for those coming up. So this is a little bit about our ecosystem. And then of course we mentioned to you our store before. And yeah, that's really, that's a complete, I guess, list of everything that we have in the ecosystem. So next is an invitation. So next steps is just what feels good in your heart. Book a discovery chat or message the person who invited you And if they're on our team, we'll be on the discovery chat with you, with them. Here's a link to book with Takata and I below. It's join.waterwealthtribe.com/discovery. And that's going to put you on the proper booking calendar. You might be on one of our other websites, but if you're speaking to us from this video, then use that calendar so you can get booked and we can have a time to talk together to see what really is in alignment for you. We can help map out your path and just discover the best ways for us to work together, whether it's a silent partnership where you simply refer people into the ecosystem. Maybe you want to be a student or drop into one of our courses with us and deepen your knowledge in that way through the temple. Perhaps you want to attend a retreat and talk to us about what's coming up on that. Or perhaps you want to work with the water education path or the water funnel path where you are also an affiliate and an aligned partner. So lots of different offerings here, just a little bit about our ecosystem and what we do for those of you that have jumped in. So this last slide I really like here as we wrap up this presentation. There are 7 days in a week and Sunday isn't one of them. And as we all know, nothing changes until we decide. So what future are you choosing? So soul family, there are 7 days in a week. We've got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but someday is not one of them. And the universe only responds to 100% full body, fuck yes. It doesn't respond to maybe, it doesn't respond to someday, it doesn't respond to, oh, well, let me think. You have to come from the heart, and that's what aligns with the universe. So if your dream life matters, choose a date, choose a path, and choose yourself. Let me read this last one.
Your journey starts here. Full support, global soul family, Water Wealth Tribe tools, and mentorships. The next step is yours.
We are looking forward to connecting with you. There's a little disclaimer here for educational and wellness purposes, and individual results may vary, of course. I want to thank you so much for coming to this presentation. Thank you for joining. If we connected with you in this way, it's because we love you and we want the best for you. And we are looking forward to seeing what aligns, what might be a fit, and what might not. And that way we can discover that together on a discovery chat. Thank you so much. See you soon, and namaste.
Namaste.
Blessings.